Hi, this is Griffin with Huisen Furniture. Today, we're going to be building the Mainstays rustic TV stand. This is their weathered rustic oak finish, and it can be found on walmart.com. Before you start, you want to make sure that none of your panels have any damage and that you have all of your hardware. If you have any issues, you can call the number on the front of the manual and we'll get you taken care of. If everything is in order, then we can begin assembly. In step 1, take your A panel and 6 cam bolts. Screw the 6 cam bolts into the 6 pre-drilled holes on the top of the A panel. You will want to screw them in to the outer holes for each pair. Be sure to screw the cam bolts in directly upright. And stop whenever that little lip is flush with the panel. In step 2, you're going to want to take your F and I panel, 2 cam bolts, 4 cam locks, and 6 plastic dowel pieces. You can start with your I panel. You're going to want to take your 2 cam bolts and screw them in to these outer 2 pre-drilled holes. Next, take your F panel. We can start with the cam locks. So you'll notice on the top of the cam lock there's a little plus and minus engraved on top and a little arrow. You're going to want to direct these towards the outside of the panel, depending on where the cam lock is, or the hole is for the cam lock. So on these, I'm going to align this arrow facing out. Here, I'm going to align the arrow facing out. If you don't put it in correctly, you can use a screwdriver to align it. So on these, I'm going to face the arrow facing towards me, or that plus and minus facing towards me. Next, I'm going to take my 6 plastic dowel pieces and I'm going to insert them into the larger pre-drilled holes on the sides of the panel. On these 2, there's 2 little pre-drilled holes here, then these 2 where the dowels go, and then 2 more on the outside. Then on this side, you want to insert the plastic dowel pieces into the pre-drilled holes that are not aligned with the cam locks, so they're inside of the cam locks. And then here you will want to do the same thing. So you want to insert the plastic dowels on these 3 sides. In step 3, take your C and D panel, 4 cam bolts, 4 cam locks, and 4 plastic dowels. We can start with our cam bolts. We will want to screw them in to the outer 2 pre-drilled holes on each of the bottom pieces of the panels. Next, we can take our 4 cam locks, and just like on the previous step, you're going to want to align those plus and minuses towards the outside of the panel, towards these pre-drilled holes on the side. So here, I'm going to align all the arrows facing towards me. Lastly, take your 4 plastic dowel pieces. You'll want to insert them into these inner 2 pre-drilled holes, so they're inside of the cam locks. Do this for both the C and D panel. Inside of the cam locks. Step 4 requires the B panel, 4 plastic dowels, 4 cam locks. You can start with the cam locks again. See that plus and minus with the arrow? Face those outwards towards the pre-drilled hole on the side. Next, take your plastic dowels and again insert them into the 2 inner pre-drilled holes. So as you can see, these plastic dowels are inside of the cam locks. In step 5, you're going to take 2 of your screws that are labeled as like 5 on the hardware and 2 of the screws that are labeled 6. This magnet, this K piece, and your F panel. Start by attaching the magnet to the K piece. You'll see 2 smaller pre-drilled holes and 2 larger ones. You'll want to align the magnet on top of it so that this metal open side is faced away from the larger 2 holes. Then take these smaller 2 screws and attach it on. Once you've attached that on there, you can then align it so that this open side is facing out on the F panel. There will be 2 little pre-drilled holes here. Line those up, then attach it with your other 2 screws. Step 6, take your H panel, 2 hinges, a handle, your magnet strike, 2 screw 6s, 1 screw 3, it's like a little tiny screw, it's labeled 8, and then 6 of your screw 4s, which are labeled 7. We can start by attaching our hinges. We want to lay them down so that this bar is up and that it lays flat with the panel. Attach it using 3 of your screws. Repeat this for the other hinge on this side. Once you get those 2 hinges on, go ahead and flip this panel over. Slide your 2 screw 6s on, which are labeled as 9s. Slide those through and then attach them to your handle. Okay, then just get your handle on, keep it flipped over. Then you're going to want to grab your magnet strike and this little screw. It's a screw 5 labeled 8. And you're going to want to screw it on here into this little corner where there's a pre-drilled hole. Just like so. In step 7, bring back out that F and I panel. Slide the I panel into the F panel using those cam bolts, sliding them into the cam locks. Okay, just like that. Then you will want to turn your cam locks clockwise to lock it in place. You want to turn it a maximum of 210 degrees. For me, it was about a 90-degree turn. and they're locked in. Then take two caps and snap them over those two cam locks. So for step 8, you're going to take your B panel and your F panel and two of these long screw ones, which are labeled as 4s. Start by taking your B panel, positioning it like so. So I have this upper ledge facing towards me. Then there's 4 pre-drilled holes and a short side, long side. I'm going to face the short side this way. Then I'm going to take my F panel, position it so the magnet's over here in this top right or top left. Then I'm going to slide it on. Slide these plastic dowel pieces in. So we have the magnet facing towards the short side. Both of these have a lip right here. Then you're going to take these 2 screws and screw this on using the 2 outer pre-drilled holes. Step 9, take 2 more of these screw ones, which are labeled as 4s, and this L piece. Slide a screw through and attach it to these 2 pre-drilled holes on your B panel. In step 10, you're going to want to keep this assembly in your C and D panel. Start by attaching your C panel to the short side. You will want to align it so that the legs are facing this way, along with this peg right here. Slide the cam bolts into the cam lock pre-drilled holes, and then turn clockwise to tighten. Repeat this with your D panel. In step 11, you're going to want to keep this main assembly, then grab your A panel. Also, you're going to need 6 of these caps. So, go ahead and align the A panel correctly. Slide those cam bolts into the cam lock pre-drilled holes. Okay, once it's in there, be sure to tighten all the cam locks by turning clockwise. There's one over here, 2 right here, 2 more over here. Once you have tightened those down, place the caps over each of the cam locks. In step 12, start by turning your unit onto the other side. Then you will want to take your back J panel. Again, make sure that this is the unfinished side. Align it so that these 2 holes are up and down. And make sure that these pre-drilled holes are in the middle of the wood so that you will not splinter it. Once you have it aligned, take your 14 nails and nail it into these pre-drilled holes. In step 13, you're going to want to take your G and E panels and 8 of these shelf supports. Insert 4 shelf supports. In this side, be sure to put them all on the same level. Then slide the E panel on with this little lip facing towards this side. Then take your other 4 and slide them in over here on the same level, or whatever level you prefer. Then slide your G panel on. Make sure that the finished side is facing outwards. In step 14, you're going to want to take your H panel and 6 of the screw 4s, which are labeled as 7, and start by attaching this top hinge to the unit. You will see 3 pre-drilled holes up here. Get under here to support the door when you're screwing it in. As you can see, I'm kind of using my foot to do this. Or you can have someone else help you to hold up the door. I'm just going to loosely get it in there, and then once I have all 3, I will tighten it down. I'm going to go ahead and attach this bottom hinge before I tighten these all the way down, just to make sure that you can keep it straight on the unit. For the final step, peel this white part off with this little TV stopper. Then you want to find the middle of the piece, and depending on how big the platform of your TV is, will determine like how far this way to attach it on there. But stick it on there and then place your TV on right up against that stopper, and then you have a complete unit.